Travis Kelce drops a bombshell about Jayden Daniels. Did a three-time champion tight end from the rival Chiefs admit to being a fan of our star QB? Yes, you heard that right. Travis Kelce said it himself on his podcast, Jayden Daniels. I'm a fan. Is this just mind games or genuine admiration? With Daniels shattering records, 12 wins in his rookie year, even Kansas City is starting to feel the heat. Will Adam Peters surround Jayden with the talent he needs or leave him exposed? This is war, Commanders. The Bengals can't hold on to their star Tee Higgins, and with $100 million in cap space. The time is now. Imagine Daniels throwing to Higgins 10 touchdowns in 12 games alongside McLaurin. Could this be the duo that brings Washington back to the Super Bowl, or will Peters prioritize the defense? If they don't move, someone else will. Get ready for a storm. Offensive genius Kliff Kingsbury, the architect of Daniels' success, already has Chiefs, Cowboys, and Bengals calling. Will they let the mind behind Jayden go? If he repeats in 2025, Kansas City might throw a blank check to pair Kingsbury with Mahomes. Or will Peters lock him up with a historic deal? The silence is over in Washington. And I've got some news that's going to shake up the NFC East. We're talking about Jayden Daniels, the man who hasn't just put this franchise back on the map, but is now being praised by one of the NFL greats. Who? None other than Travis Kelce, the superstar of the Chiefs. Did you hear that? A Kansas City player giving props to the Commanders' quarterback. But I have to ask, is this a blessing or a wolf in sheep's clothing? Let's dig deeper. I'm a fan. That's how clear Kelce said it. On his podcast New Heights, alongside his brother Jason, and yes, that's the former Eagles player, Travis dropped the bomb. Jayden, that's your challenge, brother. I want to see it. I'm a fan. Do you realize what this means? The same Kelce who owns 3 Super Bowl rings, who's played with Brady and Mahomes, is labeling Daniels as a must-watch. But here's the debate. Is this sincere admiration or just stirring up the NFC East rivalries? Jason Kelce, the brother who knows the pain of facing Daniels, made it clear, for Eagles fans, this guy is going to be a headache for a long time. Here's the deal, though, what does this mean for Washington? Remember, Daniels finished his rookie year with 12 wins, yes, 12, even in a game where he only played 1 possession. That's not luck, that's pure talent. And yet, the guy shies away from being called a star. That humility drives his game. But here's the tough question, is Washington making the most of Daniels? Because, my friends, Kelce laid it out, a lot of quarterbacks have one good year, the challenge is doing it again. And you know what? I don't think Daniels is a one-year wonder. No! This dude has that spark, that hunger this franchise desperately needs. But here's the catch, it's not all sunshine and rainbows. The NFC East is a war zone, and Jason Kelce, even if he hates to admit it, knows the Eagles won 2 out of 3 games against Washington this season. But Daniels led his team to a fourth-quarter lead in 2 of those losses, meaning he was close. Now, with nearly $100 million in cap space and those all-important draft picks, will 2025 be the year Daniels proves the doubters wrong? Now I'm telling you, front office, Adam Peters, the pressure is on you. Surround this kid with tools. Daniels already has the respect of rivals like Kelce, but he needs more. A top-tier receiver, an offensive line that protects him, and a defense that doesn't leave him out too dry. Tito, wrap it up. Here's my main takeaway. If Daniels keeps this up, he won't just be Philadelphia's headache. He'll be the NFL's nightmare. But now I ask you, Commanders Nation, do you think Daniels can lead Washington to a Super Bowl in the next 2 years? Or is Kelce just adding fuel to the fire? Chaos in free agency, and Washington holds the key to stealing an elite player. Yes, we're talking about Tee Higgins, the Bengals superstar receiver, and I'm telling you, the door is wide open. Did you hear me? This is the time to strike. But here's my question. Is Adam Peters ready to make a bold move? Let's get into the most controversial report of the season. First, the facts. The Commanders have nearly $100 million in cap space and draft picks to build a dynasty. And you know what Jayden Daniels needs? More weapons. Terry McLaurin can't do it all alone. That's where Tee Higgins comes in, the 26-year-old LD receiver who just posted 10 touchdowns in 12 games. Can you imagine that duo with Daniels? This isn't just talk, this is a call to action. But wait, the Bengals want T.O. keep him. Duke Tobin, Cincinnati's director of player personnel, made it clear, it's tough, we want to keep him, but we have to reach an agreement. Translation, they don't have the money. With Jamar Chase demanding his mega deal, how are they supposed to pay Higgins? It's impossible. And guess who's waiting to pounce? Washington. And watch out for the analysts. Jordan Dejani from CBS Sports made it crystal clear the Commanders must sign Higgins. He's the #1 free agent, and he would elevate Daniels to another level. Did you hear that? They're talking about a cosmic boost for this offense. But here comes the tough question, is Washington willing to pay the price? Because Higgins won't come cheap. His agent is going to demand a boatload of cash. And with 30 in-house free agents also needing decisions, will Peters go for the big splash or focus on reinforcing the defense? But let me tell you this, the clock is ticking. The window with Daniels on his rookie contract only lasts 2 more years. This is the moment to capitalize. If Peters doesn't surround Jayden with talent, what was the point of a historic rookie season? Higgins isn't a luxury. He's a necessity. Imagine a trio of McLaurin, Higgins, and a lethal running back. This offense would be a nightmare for the NFC East. But be careful because this isn't fantasy football. Is Higgins worth the gamble? Absolutely. With 10 touchdowns in 12 games and being at the perfect age, he's the ideal complement. And let's not forget, you'd be taking a weapon away from an AFC rival. Who doesn't like that advantage? T.O. closed this out. It's simple. If Washington doesn't go after Higgins, they'll be throwing away a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. So now I ask you, diehard Commanders fans, should they spend every penny to land Tee Higgins, or would it be better T.O. beef up the defense? Which holds more weight, giving Daniels the tools to shine or building a wall on defense? He's wanted everywhere. 3 teams who will chase Kliff Kingsbury, Indiana, 2026. Do you think he'll stay or go? Let me break it all down for you. Hey people, it's getting wild out there. Kliff Kingsbury, the mastermind behind Jayden Daniels' electric offense, is back as one of the NFL's hottest commodities. Remember when they crucified him in Arizona? Well, now he's the most wanted coordinator. Rumor has it he already turned down the Saints, but let me tell you this, 2026 will be a whole different game. Why? Because if Jayden Daniels runs it back with another historic season, every team in the NFL is going to be banging on his door. So here's my question, can Washington keep him? Or will they lose him like they lost Sean McVay? Number 3, Cincinnati Bengals and Joe Burrow's massive draw. Zach Taylor's days might be numbered. Look, Taylor's not a bad coach, but how many playoff losses will Cincinnati tolerate? If Kingsbury links up with Burrow, the AFC North will be game over. Imagine Burrow's mind combined with Kliff's wild schemes. And he could even poach one of Dan Quinn's defensive assistants to round things out. Of course, this only happens if Washington doesn't lock him down with an eye-popping deal. So let me ask you, is it worth rolling the dice on a coach who has failed before? Or has his success with Daniels changed his legacy for good? Number 2, Dallas Cowboys and Jerry Jones' love for the spotlight. Listen up, folks! Brian Schottenheimer might just be a temporary fix. Jerry Jones loves a big name, and Kingsbury. He's exactly the kind of star that Jerry can't resist. Dak Prescott could use some creative play calling, CeeDee Lamb demands more scoring opportunities, and Kliff, he's the king of organized chaos. But hold on. Could Kingsbury thrive under the watchful eye of Dallas? You know one mistake in Texas would tear him apart. So here's my take, Dak is not Jayden Daniels. Could Kliff retool his system for Dak? Or would this be another Arizona-like failure? Number 1, Kansas City Chiefs and the return of King Mahomes. Now this is the big one, people. Andy Reid is almost 70 years old. How much time does he have left? And if he calls it quits? Who better than the man who discovered Patrick Mahomes at Texas Tech? Imagine Kingsbury and Mahomes dominating the NFL again. But be cautious. Is Kliff ready to lead a championship locker room? In Arizona, his leadership was questioned. Has his time in Washington matured him enough for this kind of responsibility? I'll ask you this, if Reid steps down in 2026, would Mahomes demand Kingsbury? Or would the Chiefs look for a safer choice? And now, my verdict. Kliff Kingsbury won't stay in Washington forever. If he delivers another standout year in 2025 with Daniels, someone will snatch him up by 2026. The best fit? Kansas City. But only if Reed retires and Mahomes gives the green light. Dallas would be a circus, but you know Jerry can't resist the drama. So here's my question to you. What should Washington do? Pay whatever it takes to keep him? Or let him leave and find another creative mind? Commanders Nation, it's time to define the direction of this new era. Do you truly believe Jayden Daniels has the maturity and talent to take Washington to a Super Bowl in the next 2 years? Or are Travis Kelce's words just a clever ploy to put pressure on the team? Let's decide together in the comments. With free agency heating up, the debate is on. Should the team invest a fortune in Tee Higgins to boost the offense, or focus on shoring up a defense that showed cracks? Which strategy would you choose? And when it comes to the high price demands of a key player, should the Commanders give in to their financial requests to keep him, or roll the dice and search for a new spark for the squad? What would you do if the future of the team were in your hands? Join the most passionate NFL community out there. Subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and share your thoughts in the comments. Every voice helps build a family that beats to the rhythm of the Commanders. And remember, hail to the Redskins!